Hi, this is Austin. This is Lab 6 software, and in this lab we'll be experimenting with classes and modules and importing them. We will be creating a menu system via Python that will allow the user to pick and choose what kind of measurement they want. We're going to be doing conversions such as millimeters to inches, Celsius to Fahrenheit, and 24-hour time to 12-hour time. So our main loop over here, we have a try, except, and else statement over here. What this does is the program tries the try statement and everything inside, so that'll be from line 14 all the way to line 38. That's all inside the try statement, and it will attempt to do any of those. If any one of these statements inside the try returns successful, then the program will jump from the try to the else statement. So just think of the else statement as the success statement, that proper input has been put in and the conversion has been successful. However, on line 41, we have the accept value error. And what this is it's monitoring the inputs over here. Whatever the user inputs, it's monitoring to filter out any alphabetical letters because we just want to keep it to numbers. However, this is a weakness. We'll see later. It's more with the floats and the inputs. We'll explore it later. Okay, so back to the main program. We have a test over here, test for num, and that is where the user can choose what kind of conversion they want to do. Further on down, we have all the ifs and elifs. So these all section out to different kinds of conversions via 1, 2, 3, whatever the user enters. So let's just run this. This is our welcome message. We press enter. And now we're in the main menu. We're in this try statement over here. Okay, so let's just do enter number 1. See the number 1's over here. It's kind of hard to see, it's a little black. All right, and then we press enter. All right, so it repeats back to us. 1 has been entered. Now enter the distance. Let's do 25.7 millimeters. All right, that equals to 1.01 inches. And then, as you can see, this conversion completed. Enter another conversion. So once it successfully completed this if statement, it jumped down to the else statement over here. So that's why, as mentioned before, this is kind of like the success statement. Okay, let us try do some negative numbers. So we're going to do enter 3 for Celsius to Fahrenheit. And let's do negative 35. And that comes out to negative 31 Fahrenheit. Okay, so we've done decimal entries, we've done negative entries. Let us try do the time entries. So we'll enter 5 to go from military time to civilian time, or 24-hour time to 12-hour time. And then we must enter it as a specific format though. As we can see, it must be hour, little double dots, I forget what they're called, and mm. All right, so let's do 19 double dots 32, enter, and then that converted to civilian time or 12-hour time is 7:32 p.m. All right, let's go the other way. Let's go civilian time to military time. Press 6 to enter. And this one is a little bit trickier because you have to add the AM and PM at the end, but for the most part the same. Let's do 7:36 p.m. And that's the conversion right there, 1936. So all these math conversions are actually handled in these lines that start with imperial underscore class dot imperial and then the function name. So what that does is it accesses our other imported, where we import imperial class up here. We have another Python file over here where it has all the functions inside of it. So for example, line 16 through 18, right over here, mm underscore inch is pulled from imperial class file over here on line 6 as the function. And in the orange, it accepts the user input as an argument. Further on down in these lines right here, these two lines, it does conversions, does the math, and then it prints the result over here. One other thing too, I forgot to mention too is during input, we also use the float input to, again, filter out the user from entering letters and things like that. So the first 4 over here all work in that same manner. They just take user input as floats, do the math, and spits out a certain value. The time ones are a little bit different over here. As we can see on line 34 here, there is no float input because with time you have the little double dots and then you have AM and PM being entered. So with the time modules, we separated it into 2 child classes over here. It's called mil underscore civ underscore time. That's a child class of imperial up here at line 3. This really doesn't serve any practical use. It just was kind of experimenting with child classes. And as you can see, when we call upon it over here on line 34, it's slightly different from the other 4 imports. But other than that, it's pretty much essentially the same function. And with these time ones, it takes use of the time module. I think that's already built into Python. Date time, I believe it's called. And then it uses this function called strp time and strf time. And those are pre-configured modules that allow me to enter these special characters in purple, and then it'll format it in special 12 or 12-hour time, 24-hour time. M is for minutes, H is for, I believe, 24-hour time, I is for 12-hour time, and P, lowercase p, is for AM and PM. So this actually saved a lot of time instead of having to write your own code of, if, else if statements to convert and filter out different time entries. So now we're going to kind of backtrack a little bit and we're going to talk about what happens when a user enters a letter instead of a number incorrectly. So if they do that, then it'll generate a value error, and we take into account with value errors with lines 41 through 45. So let's try that right now. All right, so let's enter yeet and then press enter, and we see error entry incorrect, and then it closes the program via the break over here on line 45. All right. So that kind of is a filter, kind of is a little punishment, I guess, a little sadistic punishment to close the program and hopefully prompt the user to use it correctly. Okay, now we will go with the drawbacks of this program. So as I mentioned earlier, the main drawback is this line right here, float input, because float can be negatives, it can be decimals. When you're going through this menu over here, you can enter negatives or decimals and then it'll still process it as true and it'll go down to the else statement over here. Let's do a demonstration. All right, so we're in the selection menu right now. Let's enter -5. And then it says conversion completed because it jumped down to the else statement over here. Same thing with like 0.742 because these are floats. Your count is true. And again, so that is one drawback. It's definitely something that can be fixed and improved on, but for now, this is a pretty good start. And that's about it. This one was quite a journey to understand and write, especially with the date time module over here, down here in the purple. That was a little bit tricky to wrap my head around, a little bit time consuming, but not bad at all. Thanks for watching.